Welcome to Breaking Kayfabe, you guys. This is Bridesmaids Revisited. That's going to be a joke I'm really going to enjoy. So obviously we're bringing these extra episodes to you guys, nice bonus stuff where we step outside of our normal wrestling content to talk movies, music, TV, anything that, strikes our fancy. We contain multitudes here at the league, and wrestling often takes inspiration from all kinds of media. It's definitely a symbiotic relationship. What first comes up is, didn't they do like a Super Bowl shuffle kind of thing once? At least once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Ken Resnick, and I'm here to say we've got the greatest wrestlers in the AWA. But you're not here to listen to me mumble. Let's fill you in on the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Get on!
And last year, all the promos they did for WrestleMania and the Joker, all those kind of stuff. Anyway, we chose Bridesmaids, or I did rather, because I said, Bridesmaids, that's the one I want to do. It's my emotional support movie. I've seen it 11 million times. Whenever I'm feeling a little shitty, a little down, I got to put on Bridesmaids. And I guess it's because of the Schadenfreude, which is always fun. But there's something about it that's not just Schadenfreude. It's got some heart to it.
Yes.
So, Kristen Wiig retrospective. The first time I remember seeing her was Knocked Up. And that's when I really understood what comedic timing meant with that line. Just go home and step on a scale. Write down how much you weigh. Subtract it by like 20 and then weigh that much. I saw that and just cried laughing. That was my favorite part of that entire movie.
Just tighten it up.
Tighten it up.
That's when I really understood. And I think she, at that point, or definitely at the point of Bridesmaids, she had been on SNL for like 6 years at that point. So she was already like famous, funny, white woman. But that was when I really got it and really got what people meant by comedic timing in general.
Yeah. And getting back to the Knocked Up thing, when you watch the making of, that scene is the reason why she got Bridesmaids made.
It was just a perfect moment in time. That is what made her, I think. She had already been in a bunch of other movies, Walk Hard, Adventureland, Whip It, Date Night, Paul. But I think this was her first like top of the call sheet kind of starring role. She was on Raw on April 19, 2010 as her MacGruber character. I did not know that. Anyway, expectations, I guess, of the movie at the time. I think there was already talk about the gross comedy aspect of the movie from women who, no shade, had no sense of humor. I guess between that aspect and other kinds of wedding movies that were at the time that were kind of boring, like 27 Dresses, Bride Wars, people probably didn't expect it to have the heart that it did and the staying power that it has.
Yeah. No, it's such a...
Yeah.
Like, there's, like we said, we'll get into it, but there's a lot going on here. Like, it is, and it really, they said gross humor. That's so funny because there's really one scene that's really
There's
gross.
only the one, and I don't think it's the best. It's not even my favorite scene.
No,
the plane is
rest,
my favorite scene.
The rest of it is like, it's a really, I don't want to say tongue-in-cheek, but it's like an interesting way to look at what being a woman like was at the time, because we were sort of smack dab in the middle of like, do we need to have kids? Do we need to get married? Not to sound like fucking Carrie, from fucking Sex and the City.
Yes.
But that was a big thing at that point in time, the 2010s. There was a big push of like, no, literally, like, yeah, exactly. We're all wondering, like, why the fuck do we feel like having kids? Like, do I need to get married? Do I want to be married? Like, what's going on? Is that the only thing that's going to make us happy? Because we had that weird, like, push towards being single and happy, and then the turnaround again of, we need to get married. Y'all need to get married. Why is everybody getting married? And then it's happening again right now, almost, 10, 15 years later, we're having the same thing. All
right. Kristen Wiig wrote this with Annie Mumolo. I don't know if it's Mumolo or Mumolo, but she has a cameo in the movie. And she also, came up with it. Yeah.
She's in the Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar movie.
Yeah, she's in a lot of other things.
Yeah, she's really funny.
I love her. So they came up with it after Wiig did Knocked Up. And Judd Apatow asked her, who was, batting what's the right word to say?
Not batting 1,000, because that's bad.
Okay.
No, batting 1,000 is great.
It's
batting
good, but
1,000 is great.
Said sarcastically. That's why I thought it was bad.
Okay, exactly. This is what I know. Judd Apatow was hitting triple doubles all the time. Yeah. He asked her if she had ideas for a screenplay that obviously gone very well with Steve Carell and 40-Year-Old Virgin, obviously. So this was budgeted at $32.5 million, and it did $26 million its opening weekend, second only to Thor, which is a huge deal because that was, the beginning of the Marvel universe. Everyone had a lot of expectations, and for anything to place second to that movie, big deal. Domestic was 169 million, international 137, so worldwide gross at 306. That's actually more than Knocked Up, because I think that's worldwide gross was like 260 like that or something like that.
Yeah.
Made its money back in spades, so someone was happy. Melissa McCarthy was nominated for an Oscar, a BAFTA, and a SAG award for supporting actress, and Kristen and Annie got a Best Original Screenplay Oscar nomination. A lot of these kinds of things, they're political. It's mostly the producers and executive producers doing what they have to do to get those kinds of things in place. So it's not always about merit, but it's not without its importance. That's pretty cool. The director, Paul Feig, was mostly known for his TV work, namely Freaks and Geeks at the time. He was scared it wouldn't go well because if it failed, he'd be the guy who killed the women-led comedy. But here we are 13 years later, covering out a podcast where we normally talk about wrestling. I think you did the fucking damn thing. You did it right.
And what I think happens is you get both the benefits of having improv performers who can take fresh, new ideas that they're spewing out on the spot and make them funny, and yet in the way that you might feel like, oh my God, that's how my friends and I talk.
I have 2 words for you. It's going to solve everything, Nevada. Project. Okay. Everybody in the party gets jumped at the exact same hour. They don't know if it's a rape, if it's a burglary, if it's a they don't know. You don't know what the fuck is happening.
So we open with an awkward sex scene immediately with Annie and Ted, by John Hamm. He's uncredited, in which I love a famous person who's uncredited. Like, yeah, we know this is Don Draper. Eat it. Just do it.
He's like, I'll just show up. It's fun for me.
Right? And you can tell there's no real chemistry between these two characters. And it's not like there's no chemistry between the actors, because they have chemistry together. You guys ever seen Friends with Kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's also the other movie where a bunch of these people are in it. And they play a couple there, and they're great together there.
Yes,
you can tell Ted cannot fuck. And he doesn't have to try because he's pretty and he's got a nice house, and he doesn't have to try at anything.
To me, it was very...
He's got a diggle.
And a diggle big, yes, probably. To me, it read very much like there's a lot of men that watch porn and think that's the kind of sex they should be having. Where it's never like variation. It's just like jackhammer, jackhammer, jackhammer sex, And like, if you fuck her hard enough, she'll come. That's what's going to happen. I'm like, is it?
Yep.
Is that what's going to happen?
Even when she asks you for something different. No, I want to keep doing it.
Oh my God. See, and God damn it, Annie, she's trying. She's trying. She's really trying.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, how slow? Aha, yes. And he goes, I want to go fast. That makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
And the faces he makes. This is the most unattractive that man's ever been on.
Right. Why
he's
is
like,
he blowing on her face?
Like, he's just constantly making the stupidest faces. But and then she goes through all that fucking trouble after that probably very mediocre to bad sex. And she's like, I'm still gonna put on mascara. I'm gonna arrange myself.
Still wakes up earlier than him.
Artfully.
Fix her makeup.
And then she's like,
oh, you're still here.
I look so bad.
Oh, you're still here.
You're still here. I know. That is like,
oh God.
That is just like, that gives you her life in a nutshell at that point.
Right?
Oh, still here. And that, what did you say, Drew? You were talking about her walk of shame?
Yeah, it's a hilarious walk of shame. Because
the fucking cleaning lady.
Yeah, because she's trying to push the gate out, and you could see the gate is budging, so she has to pretend that, like, oh, I can't get out of the gate, which is always a funny thing. And then she tries to climb over, and then the cleaning lady is just watching her in her hilarious walk of shame.
Yeah, like
getting slid on the thing, like, yep.
And isn't it interesting that her car is parked outside of the gate in the first place? He didn't even open the gate for her to let her in. Like, if her car was inside of the gate, he would have to open it for her to get her car out.
Right.
No, she's got to climb over to leave it all.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hello, Milwaukee.
Hello. Is that you, Milwaukee? Thought it was Kenosha.
Hello, Milwaukee.
Or is it Racine?
Hey, Milwaukee.
Hello, Milwaukee.
Hello, Milwaukee.
Hello, Milwaukee.
Hello, Milwaukee.
All right, so we get into establishing shots of Milwaukee, both where it was set and where they shot most of it. The music in this movie is so great. Hats off to music supervisor Jonathan Karp. It's "Rip Her to Shreds" by Blondie. Lyrics go, yeah, you know her, look at that hair, you know her, check out those shoes. She looks like she stepped out of the middle of somebody's blues. She's so dull, come on, rip her to shreds. It's really bringing it home. This is how Annie feels about herself, man.
It's very sad.
Park scene is so great. Annie and Lillian, who's played by Maya Rudolph, and Jim Crow himself, Jim spelled J-Y-M, Terry Crews. They're trying to get on his outdoor gym class by just following his prompt from behind a tree.
If you want to take this class, you're going to have to pay for it like the rest of these bitches.
That is so fucking funny when he is yelling at them.
And then I wonder if they knew him because she apologized with his name. Sorry, Rodney, we're on a budget.
I just like the dancing.
Yes, like, oh, dancing, whatever. So we move into the bakery scene with Annie and Lillian, the hallowed tradition of women everywhere. Bullshit through working out with your friends and then get coffee and brownies.
Because you earned it.
Exactly. So they're catching up, and Lillian's talking about things that are going on in her life. She's saying things are just okay with Dougie. You know, he calls me dude a lot. Maybe she's thinking it's like too casual between them. I don't know. To me, it kind of seemed like you're getting into a comfortable spot in the relationship, you know?
I get what she's saying because, hilariously enough, this was something that I learned in marriage counseling. There can come a point when you are too familiar, in a sense, where you stop treating that person as your significant other and you treat them as just a friend in a weird way. So dude to her might signal that he's not really seeing her as like a romantic and sexual partner. It's kind of like blurring into like a buddy roommate situation.
Sure.
You know? Like you're too casual in a way. That sounds dumb. But you know, there's a difference between the way you're comfortable with your friends and there's a different way that you're comfortable, but you're understanding that's a totally different like dynamic with the person you're in a relationship with. So I get why she said that because, you know, sometimes my ex and I would say that in therapy and she'd be like, are you guys aware that you call each other dude all the time? But yeah, so I get that she's kind of like, does that mean like he doesn't like find me sexy anymore? Am I just like a buddy, a pal that he's comfortable with? Yeah. But, you know, I think everyone goes through that at a certain point in their relationship where they're like, is this person attracted to me anymore? Or is it just like, I can be my gross, terrible self in front of you? Comfort, which is also nice. Everyone needs that. You need someone that you can be your, you know, farty self in front of. So Lillian asks Annie how she's doing. What's going on? Annie doesn't want to admit that she slept with Ted again. Adult sleepover.
Yes, an adult sleepover. We had an adult sleepover. It's fine. She's like, it's okay. And Lillian hits it exactly right on the head. She spends time with him because she feels bad about herself. She knows Ted's a piece of shit. She knows he doesn't feed her the way she wants to, but she goes back to it because it's like this self-flagellation. Annie's really into self-flagellation.
When you watch the making of, they have the rehearsals there. And there's a line that Maya Rudolph says in the rehearsals of the script where it's just like, did you have a sleepover in your mouth?
Lillian is telling her exactly what Annie needs to hear. But she's got a wall up. She can't, you know, listen to it at all. She's like making excuses for why she's doing this. All right, so they leave and they're walking past Annie's closed bakery, and I get the feeling here that Annie knew perfectly well what direction they were going in, but didn't have Lillian change course because one, she doesn't want to admit that she's aware of it, and two, self-flagellation.
It's like picking at a scab.
Exactly.
You don't want to do it, but you can't stop.
Exactly.
But also, like, when I saw this, I was like, I hate to say it, but I do think Kayfabe is a terrible name for a bakery.
It is a little weird.
It's a little weird. I'm like, that's not appetizing at all.
It's not.
It's not appetizing. It's not French. Like,
Like-
what are we doing here?
Like there was a giant list of a bunch of names that were actually good for bakeries, and then like 175 Cake Baby.
Cake Baby.
Let's just
Then
use
they
it.
went with that one. Yeah,
Like, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
seems a little weird, but yeah.
it is weird. Yeah,
And at that point, it's not the other word, but it does look like it could say Coke Baby as well.
it could. Oh, shit. It could. So we move into the jewelry store where Annie's now working. No shade to Payless, because I grew up on Payless. I'd still go there now. If you're working either at or near Payless, maybe things aren't going too well in your life. I think that's kind of a major marker. Perfectly nice couple coming in looking for an engagement ring, and she immediately sticks her foot in her mouth. You can't trust anyone, you know. That will end. He might not even be Asian, which cracks me up.
He might not even be Asian.
Cracks me
I
up.
was like,
what? All this bullshit of like how her life is going terribly. Your life is going to go terrible soon. So, which ring are you interested in buying? Of course, they leave because what the fuck?
we're like, no.
Yes. And her boss has to bring in Callie Hawk. Callie Hawk, also from Black Jesus and New Girl, serving Kiss Begins with K realness. You know, Callie, or what's her name? Kahlua.
Which drove me
fucking
insane.
name is
I was like,
Kahlua.
why is she named after a liqueur?
Show
The
us
only reason,
your
like,
love is eternal face.
when I saw that, I was like, she kind of looks like she might have to fart a little bit. But I get it because it's one of those things where, again, she's just an effortlessly pretty person.
Yes, so she doesn't
if
have to do much.
If she just looks off into the distance and thinks of soft things, she'll look like that.
Exactly.
Oh, also, I said it's very clear that man wants to fuck Kahlua.
Yes.
Because
he wouldn't make jokes like that unless you were trying to hide it.
Right. But he puts up with Annie because, you know, it's her mom. Her mom owes him the favor.
And tells Annie do the same thing, but she looks like she's having menstrual pains.
I know, because she's got the hand here. She's like, like kind of hunched over.
Which is interesting. Again, like, why did you just try to mimic what Kahlua was doing instead of trying to put your own spin on it? You know what I mean?
Because I don't think she can see it forever right now for herself.
Exactly.
She is stuck in this moment of everything is shit.
Yeah.
Everything is terrible.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to be better.
Just spiraling over and over and over.
Yeah. Running on that hamster wheel.
Yes. Boss has to remind her, hey, care about your job a little more. Don't kick people out and, you know, throw up, overload them. And tell us the only reason she has that job is because she knows her mom from AA and she's doing her mom a favor. I was like, shit. God.
Yep.
It's like, your mom is my sponsor from AA.
That's the only reason you're here.
God.
She goes to AA meetings to spy on people.
Yes.
Yeah, she's not an alcoholic. She just likes to go.
Kind of hilarious. So Annie arrives at home at her apartment that she shares with Rebel Wilson, who was in her first American feature. She plays Bryn, showing us the horrendously infected tattoo she got from a guy in the back of a truck. It's a Native American symbol meaning wasted. It's just a fucking worm.
When I was watching it, I was just like, she was not that big in this movie. Like, not like size wise. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it
she
is,
looked
though.
normal, and then then she just became the icon for fat, and I'm like, wait,
She's
okay.
Not even that big. Here comes Matt Lucas playing Gil. This might have been the first time I saw him too. This might be one of his first American features. Coming to ask for the rent check, which is so funny. She's like, I'm getting the money. And she's kind of pushing him away. Like, bitch, I ain't got it. Why are you asking me? Stop. And this is such an interesting thing to have roommates that you don't like, that you don't get along with. It's been a long time since I've been there, but it kind of makes everything about your life that's shitty is worse when you share a living space with people like that. So next scene, Annie's at Lillian's, much better. Why don't they live together too? Like, there's so many things looking back and like, why do you do it this way? Why don't you set it up in a way that makes fucking sense? So she's there to hang out, brings a magazine. She's got the wine, lemon, whatever.
Welcome to the wine and magazine
party. Ooh. But she's all there to tell her that Dougie proposed. And he's been acting weird because he thought he would spoil the surprise. She does the whole bit with the apple and, look at my finger.
What I like about this too is it's such it dates the movie in a fun way, because it's like, she didn't text her. She didn't post
Right?
about it. She had to call her best friend over to see the ring in person as soon as she could.
On her BlackBerry phone.
Exactly. This
looking at magazines. That's how that pretty much
magazines.
No, I.
And he's got to really fake her happiness here.
She does. Oh my god! When they have that long hold on her, and she's like,
"Yes, yeah,"
and then she just stops. Like,
yeah, and we get that shot of her and Lillian.
You know what I noticed? So I never watched this movie before with subtitles on, but now because you know it's just easier to watch things with subtitles because you catch everything. When Lillian is on the fucking phone, she's supposed to be there with Annie having her magazine and wine party. But as soon as Dougie calls, she's like, I'll be there in an hour. I'm like,
right?
Lillian is a horrendous friend in this entire movie.
She sucks. And I mean, I'm maybe we'll come to it. We'll figure it out as we talk about it. But I'm trying to figure out why she sucks so much. Like what? It has to be the thing where you're in that first relationship that gets that serious, where you are going to marry them, and it feels like that. I get that a lot of people will become shitty friends because they're putting all of their relationship energy into that one.
Yeah,
and they don't know how to
balance it.
You know, do this. That happens for sure.
Yeah.
So
and put the work into the friendships that you have.
Yeah,
instead of or like balance them out. It's possible, but you got to figure it out.
But you have to work at it. Like a lot of people forget that relationships in your life don't happen. You have to work on them.
Yep.
Because if you don't, like people who are pretty well adjusted will eventually fucking tell you, like, hey, like you're not making an effort anymore. So
yeah,
I'm over it.
So Lillian goes up to pick her mom for Lillian's engagement party. Annie's mom is played by Jill Clayburgh. She was known for an unmarried woman and starting over, probably the kinds of roles that Wig herself would have played in the 70s. She had passed away shortly after the movie came out, R.I.P. And she was, which is sad because she's so great. She did such a fucking great job.
Yeah, she died when it was in post. She didn't.
Really?
Yeah, she never saw the movie ever come out.
Now the amazing Jill Clayburgh.
Let's clink our glasses for Jill.
Here. Raising glass. We're not actually drinking in here, so.
No, we're not. This is water in there.
Yes.
Bottled water.
She was so great.
It was so beautiful and cool. Such an honor to work with her.
And so happy to do the extra dirty comedy we had her doing.
That's a woman, man.
I know.
She was super cool.
Yes.
There is this one story.
Such a sweetheart.
I love how she says the names of all the people that are in AA.
I know. I was
Look at Rick Springfield in the background, you guys.
I know.
It's pretty good.
And is that Willie Nelson?
Yes, sure is.
I love those.
Getting
So Annie's there to take her mom. We're gonna go. She tells Annie she can't go with her to Lillian's party because she signed up to speak at AA, but she's not even. She's like, I've never had a drink. I just go. She's she's not an alcoholic. She doesn't even drink at all. She just goes to creep and tell people stories, which is awful, but also kind of fucking hilarious. She tells her about Marvin Johnson. It's like, Mom, no names. It's supposed to be, whatever. Marvin J. Whatever. It's like, that's not gonna work. And this guy was blowjobbing to get crack and realized that was his bottom. Honey, maybe this is your bottom.
I mean,
and like I look at it this way, like if my mom was half as nice as her mom, I might just be living with her, but I can understand why she doesn't, because this is all you're gonna hear all the time about how bad everything is going. If you with someone who's gonna be constantly kind of prop you up in a way that's not super helpful, I get why she'd rather be in this other apartment with these two weirdos from the UK. But she's like, all right, fine, I'll go alone. And then she's like, don't tell me about being alone. I'm single. I've been alone since your father married that whore. That new whore, Barb. She still calls her the new whore.
They've been married for 12 years.
And she's like, whatever, she's still a whore.
And the way she goes, I bet she greets him Beaver first in the evening. It's because now you're picturing it. You're picturing some woman just with the legs.
Or the bend over as soon as the door opens.
Yeah.
I love that she still has smoke for Jolene after all these years.
That beef is still fresh.
Right?
Okay, but she's still a whore. Yes. I'm sure she greets him in the evening, Beaver first.
I don't want to think about that.
You sure you don't want to move in with me? Okay, but she's still a whore. You know, I'm sure she greets him in the evening, beaver first.
I don't want to think about that.
I bet she got that car by giving your dad something sexually. Because there was one thing I would never do. And I'm sure Barb is a champion at it.
I don't want to know.
It's called a chicken coop.
Oh, of course it
You
is.
start at the back and you peck your way to the front like you have a bee. And then you end up with 2 eggs in your mouth.
That's gross.
No, I'm sure your dad likes it. Of course, he grew up on a farm.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to move in with me?
We hear a cover of the Violent Femmes, Blister in the Sun, here by a French band named Nouvelle Vague. I don't know if it's Nouvelle Vague or Nouvelle Vague. But anyway, the song is about drug use, but I think it was used here to highlight Annie's feeling of exposure, kind of going to be sticking out like a sore thumb at this fancy party that she's going to fucking go to. There's ballet at the country club, which is so funny. She has to explain to the guy how to operate her hoopty. First, she's pulling up, shit, ballet. Why would you, if you have a hoopty, you got to give it to someone else, you know, in a fucking frock coat to park somewhere. Jesus Lord. Oh, God. So Annie comments that she can't believe Dougie's boss is a member of this big fancy place. And this is where Lillian begins to emerge as an idiot. Because Dougie, his boss, his parents are all members of this place. Yes, as his fiance, you're also a member. You're marrying into money.
I know, she keeps acting like she isn't.
I guess me too. Like, yeah, you too, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about? Ugh.
I could never tell if she was genuinely coming to that conclusion, or
Right?
if she was like kind of bragging. I couldn't really tell if it was both or one or the other.
And so we meet the other poor souls that Lillian has duped into being in her bridal party. First up is Wendy McLendon Covey as Rita. You're probably best known at this part for Reno 911 and the Goldbergs. So Rita is Lillian's cousin, and of course Annie knows her but hasn't seen her in a while. She's the proud mom of 3 boys, old enough to be leaving semen everywhere.
They are disgusting, all of them. They're just
I cracked
gross.
a blanket in half. I cracked it in half.
Is it in half?
I have a 12-year-old son. I'm not looking forward to this experience.
Oh man!
Already the kid smells like a foot. So we meet Ellie Kemper as Becca. Ellie, I think, is the first of several people from The Office that we'll see. She plays Lane's friend from work. Becca is a newlywed. Newlyweds are insufferable. This is fact. And we had a sweetheart honeymoon.
Where did you guys go?
Disney World. Oh. We finished each other's sentences. Sorry.
Would you go to Disney World for a honeymoon?
No. I go to Disneyland for fun for me. I'm not going to go for a fucking honeymoon. I'll go somewhere else.
I was like, that's so interesting.
When I was watching this, I came to the realization that Ellie Kemper can only play Ellie Kemper in everything.
Yes, only a version of that in everything.
It's like if she went outside of her realm, people would be like, "The fuck."
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a reflection on her acting teacher, who is John Hamm.
When I see Ellie Kemper in that movie, she just has the energy of a woman who is just in her marriage like years later, and just is like, you know, I've always wanted to sleep with a black guy.
Oh God!
Would it be possible if I could sleep with a black guy and you can be across the room and watch it?
Oh God! Oh God, she does give me that energy. Next, we meet Melissa McCarthy as Megan. This is at this point she's probably best known for Gilmore Girls and Mike and Molly. I had seen neither, and this is my first time seeing her. She's a wacky character. Immediately tells her too much about how she fell off the fucking
cruise ship. Yes.
Pinball down, hit a lot of railings, broke a lot of shit. She's
Just
like,
her body movements are so funny.
It's funny because, like in any other like story, she would be the giant lesbian, but she's not. She's aggressively heterosexual.
Yes.
Like, because when, you know, again, she makes the joke, that she makes the mistake, right?
Yes.
Of thinking the guy next to her is your fella.
Yes.
And she's like, I know. She's like, oh, thank God he's saying I want to climb that like a tree.
Yes. That character, Megan, goes for exactly what she wants all the time.
I wrote down that noticing all the women in the bridal party, you have, so you have Lillian who's getting married, right? Annie who's sad and single, Rita sad, horny mom.
Mhm.
Sad, bored, horny mom. New housewife who thinks everything's peachy keen. And then you have Megan, who is aggressively single and loving it.
Yes.
It's like they represent every woman in this group.
Right? Yeah.
They are all women, and it's so funny that
All the
I
archetypes.
never noticed that.
Mhm. And next we meet Helen, played by Rose Byrne. This is also my first memory of seeing Rose. Maybe I saw her in Marie Antoinette because I did see that before. But she also had Rose in Marie Antoinette, Attack of Clones.
Yes.
She was also in Troy, Wicker Park, and Get Him to 3. Helen is the person that's presented to us as the villain of the movie. Now we know it's Lillian's dumbass.
No, it's funny because she shows up in that black dress.
Yes, how
Looking
wears a
like a
fancier
villain.
dress
Than the
than the bride at their engagement party.
No, and my thing that I clocked as soon as all this happened, I was like, you can tell right away she's not a girl's girl.
Yes.
But as we find out, it's not because she likes to be, it's because she gets put in that position. Like, after watching this movie and thinking about it a little more critically, like Helen strikes me as someone who was a mean girl.
Yeah.
But then she found out being a mean girl in real life is fucking lonely.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get you anywhere. So she doesn't know how to make friends, especially with
Yeah.
girls, because, you know, when you're a mean girl in high school and college, it's fine.
Sure.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, boys want to date you, girls want to be you.
Yeah.
But then you get into reality, people are like, who the fuck are you? So what? You're hot. There's a lot of you.
So Annie's face is immediately like, "Oh, she's so nice," but you know, it kind of drops. You can or see.
Yo, yeah. To be fair, if I saw Rose Byrne coming at me looking like that, I'd be like, well, fuck me.
Yes.
What is this?
God damn it.
Because she looks so put together.
Yeah.
And she's looking at you like, she's like, yeah, you know I look fucking good. It's like,
yeah. I'm here in my fancy ball gown and you got the blazer and but you're the maid of honor. Yeah.
But that's why she's so fucking clingy with Lillian. Because Lillian is probably the first person that let her be her. That she was like, this is like an actual friendship. Like, I'm not being mean to her. We're on the same level. Oh my God. Oh my God. And that's why she's so like getting the claws in and not letting him out, you know?
Exactly. That's why she gloms on so hard. Yeah.
But it was great to finally meet you.
It's a great party.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye.
And here's where Annie and Ellen immediately try to outspeech each other. And this is where Lillian probably, she's seeing it happen. Okay. Annie says something short and sweet. And then Helen comes in with this whole fucking homoerotic story about her opening up to Lillian, how she's on level with her and she's finally connecting to someone that she's not been able to connect to. She busts out her tears, you know, brings out the inside joke. Annie comes back with, "Oh, we're actually super close too, you know." And the next shot, Helen finds another mic, and they just keep going back and forth.
Listen,
Lillian is visibly embarrassed. This is probably where she should have intervened and been like, "Hey, this is," but she didn't because she's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
she's the real villain.
When when that happened, I was just like, literally what I wrote. Fucking Helen, she is such a bitch. And I was like,
cunt.
She's a one-upping ass bitch and an inside joke bitch.
Doug Lee, I'm sorry, inside joke.
But yeah, so that's like, it's automatically, you can tell like Annie is sort of like, she's defensive, but like Helen is competitive.
Yes.
There's the difference. Annie is like, oh my God, this person who is obviously so much more better for what this is in my zone and now I don't know what to do. But Helen is like, this is my territory and I will kill you.
Yes.
Like, it's so weird to see it happen.
Brings out the tie, says some long,
oh
you know,
my God.
flowery
You know what's
thing
funny?
tie.
I translated as much as I could of Annie's Spanish.
That's good.
So you go first. You talk about the Spanish.
Gracias por llevar a la casa. We took Spanish together. En las escuelas, en azul, but Schwarz. Like, oh, I can say something in a different language too.
Because literally she's just saying, thank you for living in the house, in schools, and blue. You have for live, and thank you. That's what she's saying.
It makes no sense. She's like,
it's just
I'm just
random
pulling
garbage.
it out of my ass just to kind of come up to the level that you are.
And then to like seal the deal, she's like, keep smiling.
Impromptu Dionne Warwick.
And then fucking Helen has to get. I know this song too.
Yeah. That's what friends are for.
And then they're doing the whole thing, just like
I'm singing. I'm singing.
And then I shot Manny like, and Helen's like, I won this exchange.
Oh my god, it's so funny. If I were at that wedding and some shit like that went down, I would be texting you, being like, you would not believe the shit that I'm watching right now. You would not believe.
Of course, she's got to make fun of it the whole time. Like, oh, she's my best friend, even though we've known each other for 5 minutes. And her driving's so terrible that as she's recounting the evening to herself, she's weeping.
Like a drunk.
So, of course, she gets pulled over. Cop pulls her over as Chris O'Dowd and Nathan Rhodes, cop at large. And this is also the first time I've seen him. I've since corrected that by watching the IT Crowd. Everyone should watch that.
I love the IT Crowd.
Amazing.
It's so fucking funny. I love it. I remember seeing him in this and I was very excited because I think I had watched the IT Crowd for some reason at that point.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
But I was like, he is one of those white dudes that I do like.
Yeah, he's great.
Because he's not exactly like, leading man handsome, but he's not ugly. And he has the cute Irish accent, so that's going for him. Yeah. It's like the only time I've been like, you know what? I would date that cop. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would do that. He's a friendly neighborhood cop.
He has to write her a ticket because her brake lights are out. And I use this line every single time I see someone with fucked up brake lights. It's a funny thing about brake lights. You have to have them every time. And she tries to cute her way out of a ticket. Can I give you a ticket? And she fails miserably at it. Anyway,
what a good time. What a good time. Chris O'Dowd, he's great. I put he's the only good Irish cop.
Only good Irish cop.
That's what I wrote.
Yes. Oh my god. So Rhodes is writing Annie the ticket. He realizes that they live near each other and that he used to go to her bakery.
When he's talking about the bakery, he's like, and you made those things. It's like this like thing with like a pastry, but there's like cream in it. She goes, cream puffs? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, who doesn't know what a cream puff is? He's like acting like it's some delightful. And I'm like, bro, you bake it, you shove some cream in it. That's all there is to it, really. That was just funny to me because like it's probably the simplest thing she knows how to make in her sleep.
Yes.
And that's also to me that's like foreshadowing. He likes her the way she is.
Yes.
He's the person that's going to be like, you're fucking cool the way you are right now. Like, what's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. You are a cream puff. You are just a simple baked delicious dessert that needs nothing else. Good writing.
Yeah, it is. She's so pathetic that he takes pity on her, decides to toss the ticket, and gives her a place to get her brake lights fixed on top of that. Bill Cosby.
I forgot about that.
You see that spelled later as Cozbi. He's like, no, don't make the joke.
Don't even bring it up.
Nuts.
Don't even say it. Like, and I mean it. Don't say it.
Yeah. And she says, thank you. I appreciate. He's like, I appreciated your cake. Just, I'm a good cop. I'm the right one. Not everyone is bad. I'm the good one. Oh my god.
Now let me go beat up on a minority.
Exactly.
But it felt very natural. There's something nice also about meeting somebody for the first time. I've never talked to Kristen about this, but there's something funny about meeting somebody for the first time in a scene in a rom-com where you're kind of half flirting.
You have to, yeah.
So because you're doing it in the script and you're doing it in real life, and so you're trying to make each other laugh in just a normal way that you would if you were in a bar.
So your male flirt brain took over.
Right, that's right. My flirt brain, which is my new superhero.
So next scene, Annie makes a single sad, beautiful cupcake. I did not even know that you could make one cupcake.
She probably had more batter, to be honest.
Yeah.
She probably baked all of them and just decided to decorate one.
Yeah, because it's more complicated.
Yes, it's the whole muffin. It's the cupcake. It's the buttercream. It's the fondant that she paints or gum paste. I'm not sure what she used, but what I like about it is she is depressed. But she's not depressed enough to eat that gum paste fondant because we all know it tastes like shit.
Right?
No one likes that part of the fucking cupcake. Yes. I said, I also bake when I'm sad, and I love that she didn't eat that fondant. She's not that depressed.
Right?
I'm not just going to mainline.
So go into the work of making it and bring, what used to bring her, happiness.
Yeah.
It's Set to Paper Bag by Fiona Apple. Should be a requirement to have a Fiona Apple song where there's a sad white woman. Should always be there. I think this brought me back to Fiona Apple in general all the time.
She's the OG sad white lady music that's actually good. I'm not going to say anything else because I don't want anybody to try to convince me about things. It's not going to happen. I grew up on Fiona Apple. It will always be Fiona Apple. I'm sorry. I know other generations have their person, but Fiona Apple.
Classic.
Hunger hurts, but starving works.
When it costs too much to love. And every time I hear that, I gotta say it, and it's just so perfect. And she eats it, and I've never seen someone look so sad while they're eating a cupcake.
Right?
Wow.
She's just so like, well, this is it.
Yeah.
That this record is out. Earlier, you'd mentioned that this was the first time you sort of started to feel like you were an adult. But it sounds like you do feel that way. That it's not that you're starting to feel that way. That you are there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm there in the sense that I must say that it's not like I've figured things out. I think I figured out the most important thing, and I don't want to make this sound negative at all, but in the best way possible, I freaking give up. I give up. You can't try to make your life perfect. I'm just trying to have a good time, and I'm just trying to appreciate the things that I have around me. I give up on the dream. I think that it's all a dream. I think it's all wonderful and terrible, and I give up in the nicest way.
All right, next scene we got Annie and Helen playing tennis because Lillian asks Annie, hey, just hang out with her, get to know her by yourself. And they basically both argue over who knows Lillian better.
Yeah, and
oh god, like she's never liked, to play tennis. Well, actually, I knew where to play tennis. It's crazy how people change. Like, no, you
people don't change. I think people change.
They're the same. Like, no, they don't. Just go back and forth. It's so funny. We meet Helen's asshole stepkids. She asks them if they need a ride, and they tell her to fuck off.
Literally, I laughed so hard though. Those kids are so fucking mean to her.
You need a ride home later?
Fuck off, Helen.
Okay, put a quarter in the swear jar.
Here's where we get the first hint at Helen's loneliness. She's not connected to her stepkids at all. It's so sad. The tennis is set to Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC as they basically attack each other in the tits with tennis balls the whole time.
Yes. I had tennis ball to the titty, and then Carol, get your shit together, Carol.
Carol, get your shit together, Carol.
I say that all the time to people when I'm yelling at them. Not really, but like yelling at them. I'm like, Carol, get your shit together, Carol.
It's probably the only healthy time that they get out their animosity together, and it's tennis balls to the tits.
The slow-mo tennis balls to the titties was so fucking funny. It's like
just slapping her on the ass when she does well, but she is just yelling at her every time she fucks up.
Right?
Oh my god. I mean, to be fair, here's the thing. We just saw Challengers, and to be fair, energy is the same. The energy is the same.
It's just as gay.
It's just as gay and just as funny sometimes.
Oh shit. Anyway, next scene we have Annie, Bryn, and Gil. Annie's telling her two roommates they should be splitting the rent 3 ways instead of the 2. This is probably a way for her to get her to stretch her money. And it's fair. They are all living together in the same spot. And Bryn, it turns out, has read Annie's diary, which she identified as a very sad, handwritten book. And the way she says it, again, it's so funny, the comedic timing. Sad, handwritten book. But then I remembered the deep personal bits about Gil and Bryn. And she's like, don't fucking read my diary. And Gil's like, well, maybe if you don't want people to do that, you should just have a sign on your door saying, don't come in my room, read my diary, and wear my clothes. Bridal party goes out to eat at Brazilian barbecue. And it looks great. It looks fun. Outside is questionable. Oh, look, you can get your checks cashed next door. And
She's
there's,
so uncomfortable.
Right. And there's,
She's
the
like,
little stray dog.
Her and
The
her like
inside
overdressed ass everywhere.
Right?
She's just overdressed
Yes.
in every
Look at
single
those
scene.
Fucking shoes. Like, goddamn. Yeah. Rita and Becca begin this back and forth that we'll see later on. They'll have several beats where they do this, where it's the doe-eyed newlywed, and Becca's talking about how she can't wait to experience a long marriage and have a family and all that kind of bullshit. And Rita's like, let me put you on game, girl. This shit fucking sucks.
Yeah, she's like, this is lame.
I was slaving over a hot stove. I love that line, slaving over a hot stove, making a beautiful meal. My son comes in and tells me, I don't want that. I want a pizza. He says, Mom, why don't you go fuck yourself? He's 9. Becca just looks stricken like this. This is what I have to look forward to.
Yeah.
Becca notes that Helen is staying away from eating any meat. Of course, she's a fucking salad ass bitch probably all the time.
Right,
She
salad ass bitch at the meat house. Because all Brazilian restaurants that I've been to are fucking meat houses. Like it's literally the star of the show is 1,800 different kinds of meat.
Like 5 kind of animals. Like, come on. Anyway, Helen's staying away from the meat because it bloats her. She doesn't want to go fitting bloated. And Megan, obviously a heavy-set woman, says she doesn't bloat. I love this joke. Because a heavier woman doesn't bloat. It's a gift. What are you gonna do? Beat my ass? You can't do it. It's great.
So it's just funny the way she goes, I just don't bloat.
Lily steps away to go to Laser, and Annie here suggests a Paris theme that Helen immediately poo-poos. French themed invitation, chocolate fondue, little cookies that say Lilith and Dougie on them will be relevant later. Becca suggests a Pixar themed shower where everyone dresses up as their favorite Pixar character. Honestly, that sounds like a fucking good time.
Watching it is so funny now because you can see.
You can see her stealing it in real time. She's like,
if I do this, she is like in her head right now, just like
taking notes.
It's Machiavellian, dude.
Right.
She is just like ready to just like cut
She
Annie off.
was so quick to poo-poo, and then she's just like, I'm stealing a fucking idea.
You know why? Because in her head, she's like, I have the money to make this happen.
Yep.
And it'll be better.
Oh, yep. You can see it pouring across her face. And she's like, I don't really like it. But you could tell she's like, bitch.
Yes.
Yeah. Megan says, let's just beat the shit out of her. Female Fight Club. She's not going to forget that.
It's true. She wouldn't, unless she had a concussion.
And she's like, I feel bad for her. My brother's a fucking asshole.
That is the funniest thing ever. She's like, I can't believe this wonderful woman is marrying my fucking brother. Like, because I feel like
Dougie's a fucking asshole.
No, because I feel like on some level, most people have a little bit of that about their sibling getting married. You're like, someone wants to marry you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Maybe not super strong, but in your head, you're just like, damn. Someone really thought, let me get the person that I've seen, pick their nose and fucking fling it on a wall when we're kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the person I'm going to spend my life with. And you're like,
right?
Okay. But we're all that person to somebody, though.
True. Oh, shit, man. So we're going to get our, dresses, put on, whatever, all that stupid bullshit. It's Belle Blanc, which is like, God, that
Kleinfeld
sounds...
knockoff. It's a Kleinfeld knockoff is what it is.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, no, I don't know for sure, but that was in my head because for a while there, I was obsessed with Say Yes to the Dress, the Kleinfeld show, And I'm like, this is exactly what it is. It's this super ridiculously like gate-kept wedding fucking dress store. Yeah. And I'm like, I went to David's fucking bridal. My shit cost $200.
Hey. And he's got to hit the intercom. It's like, if you have to talk to the intercom to even gain entrance to a place, there is a problem. There's an issue. Like, I remember,
acting like it's an apartment, not a public place.
Lady of the intercom says, if you don't have a reservation, you got to wait a month and a half. You cannot walk in off the street. Helen slides in right away. She says, Whitney? It's Helen. And apparently they're BFFs, and you can't just walk in if you're Helen.
You know what's funny, though? At the end, I don't know, she does mention it, right? Like, at some point where she's like, people only want me around because I'm good at planning things and I can pay for them. And so you wonder how many fucking weddings has she done this for?
So that Whitney knows her voice.
No, right? That's what I'm saying. Like how many bridesmaids has she been in?
So they're in fucking this fancy place, looking at all the dresses. Helen picks out a dress, it's all pretty and she's talking it up. It's made in France. It's couture. She's got the whole.
It's a Fritz Bernays.
Yes. What kind of name is that?
It's a Fritz Bernays.
I feel like with the the names of the fashion people, they made them as ridiculous as they possibly could.
Literally, because yes, I wrote this down. I had never really noticed the name of the designer that they're so excited about, but when they put in the subtitles, Lady Saint Petois Juju.
What kind of fucking combination of words is that?
I was like, Lady Saint Petois Juju. Like, no, it doesn't even mean anything. It doesn't mean it's nonsense French.
It's as bad as the Spanish that Annie did.
Yes.
Just nonsense in a
Gracias
row.
por vivar.
Annie looked at the price tag because she has a brain. It's $800. And he's like, bitch, have you seen the price tag on this? And Helen's like, it's on sale. The thing that Annie makes when she realizes that's the sale price.
That's what I would have done. Like, I'm never wearing this thing again. Because I mean, like, yeah, technically I could get it tailored, but then I'm paying more money.
More money to use something you spent all this money on that you didn't want in the first place.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, it's.
I can't even imagine what the markup on that is. If $800 is a sale price, I don't want to know what it costs full price.
It's probably over $1,000.
And he's trying to sell him on a more reasonably priced dress. Points out that maybe they shouldn't wear something about the stage Lillian. And Lillian announces that Helen's designer friend, Lady Saint Francois Juju. It sounds like the name of a poodle too. Like
it does sound like a poodle's name.
Yeah, it's
like maybe they just call her Juju, but like her full name is Lady Saint Francois Juju.
Yes, that's. I kind of want to get a poodle just to name it that because
this is Juju, but her real name is Lady Saint Francois Juju.
That's perfect because it's like reason after reason of why Annie can't compete with Helen, just over and over again. Just
right,
she's not bullshit.
She's not pedigree. She don't got papers.
But at the same time, you don't eat before you do the things. Like,
well,
I mean,
what did you eat at the wedding though?
No,
you mean for the fitting, right?
The fitting.
I do think it is. They should have done the food after the fitting. To be fair,
yeah.
Just because I wouldn't want to like eat and then go try on clothes. That's boring and a lot of work.
Sure.
Like I'm one of those people that I hate trying on clothes. Like I need to wear them, so I go try them on. But
yeah,
I fucking hate it. I hate having to
enjoy the itis instead. I would have wanted to enjoy the itis instead of having to go shove myself into a dress.
Right.
Yeah. So they all try on different dresses, and it's at this point where everyone except Helen is looking a little sweaty and uncomfortable. And he's talking up the dress that she picked out. Says you can easily spread your legs, and I love that they have the camera on all the ladies, and Megan's like thumbs up, spread your legs in the dress. And this is really the only scene out of the whole movie that makes use of the gross shock comedy thing. And what's comedy? What do we say here? Tragedy plus time. And gross shock comedy is supposed to be jarring and provocative, but here I think it's used to bring us closer to Annie by sympathizing with her about how fucking horribly this is all going. The day goes to shit. Literally
and figuratively.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively. Everyone's got a story about their day going just fine, already not awesome, and then their body completely turns on them. I could tell you a number of fucking disgusting pregnancy stories, the amount of time I had to throw up in public. Ugh.
Area. It's just really, really, really foul and really awesome.
Is anyone else hot?
Yes.
Like an oven in here.
It's warm. There's nothing funnier to me than women trying to act like it's not happening.
Yeah, sharing these kinds of things with each other decreases the stigma around our own bodies, these fucking treacherous meat sacks we have to carry around, and it creates this weird kind of intimacy. Like, oh my God, that happened to me too.
Right, because then everyone's the same.
Yeah.
Everyone's the same.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why that really works in this movie. And it's a shame that a lot of people won't watch it because of that. And they're missing a lot.
You know, and there's something to be said about trauma bonding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that too. Definitely.
That's a funny story for them later, though, eventually. You know, it's like, remember that time we all shit ourselves?
Yes.
The Belle Blanc.
Megan's like, oh, that dress is so pretty, it makes my stomach hurt.
And then you can hear
the classic
the
line.
stomach
noise.
Like everyone just starts making weird gurgly noises.
And making faces, and everyone's like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like the way that Megan's skin is, like Melissa McCarthy.
I still feel like they messed her skin up with makeup. I think they made her look a little more
blotchy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's even funnier because like when they're all sweating, you don't know if she's sweating or not because she's just so blotchy the entire time. And so like when you hear the stomach, you're like, oh shit, okay, she's actually sick.
Yes. The first one to throw up is Becca a little bit. He just kind of comes out, and Rita sounds the alarm. I don't care what happens with the dresses. I just got to go out this white carpet. And Annie, bless her, with her iron will, everyone's running in every direction. She refuses to admit she's sick. She said every time we cut back to her, she's sweatier. She's even sweatier, and that's
and
what
they smudged her under eye makeup. She's like,
I'm not sick.
No, not sick.
And Helen's like, I think you'd feel better if you just threw up. And she's like, actually, I'm like, kind of hungry. That is amazing. Like when I'm sick, I have no control over it. It just all goes. It's just like, I've got to find the bathroom. I'm the three ladies in the bathroom. It's over for me. But she's like, no, I can hold on to it if I don't admit to you that I messed this up. This is already going so poorly. The careful eating of the Jordan almond, like, she kind of.
When I saw that, I was like, Helen is a fucking psychopath in this
Right?
scene. And she's like offering her Jordan almonds, and I'm like, also, Jordan almonds fucking suck. They are a trash candy.
Yes.
Those things are fucking gross. Like, I've always hated Jordan almonds. When you go to a wedding and they give you favors and it's Jordan almonds, you're like,
yeah,
wow, you fucking
always
hate me, don't
pastel
you?
colored Jordan almonds and some kind of
Give me the little buttermints. I like those better.
Yes.
Those are tastier, but like the fucking almonds, come on.
Yes. Oh God. Megan, over the truth telling wild card, she's in the toilet. She's like, it's coming out of me like lava. We've all been there. Don't front. One bathroom has already been destroyed. So Lynn has to leave the place in someone else's dress. And she's got to sink to the pavement in the middle of the street.
The way she just goes,
it's happening. It's happening.
It's happening. It's happening. It happened. It happened. It happened.
Just when
And then fucking what's her fucking
throws
Annie.
up on her hair.
Oh, she's like, get away from me.
Get away from me.
She's no, and when Annie sees Lily in the street, she's like, oh, you're really doing it, aren't you? You're just shitting in the street.
Oh
But
my
no,
God.
everyone.
That dress didn't even belong to her.
Everyone has that story. You may have been a child, teenager, even an adult. It happens when you're an adult sometimes, but like everyone has that I have just shit my pants story. And it's the most horrifying thing to happen to you, especially as an adult.
Thank you. You okay?
I just took a shit in the middle of the street. I just shit.
People do that.
I shit in my shorts. I shit myself.
Thank you. Are you okay?
I crap my wedding dress. I crapped a wedding dress.
Lunch was fun though, right? It was a good time, all the girls together.
Is this a sign, Annie?
No, I'm just gonna pull over really quick though because my tire just feels a little.
Where are you going?
Tire just feels a little low. So hold on, I just want to check my tire.
Hold on.
She held it. She held it till then.
Listen, and in the face, Lillian's face, like, you just gotta sweat and listen to her vomit. And she gets back in the car, like, vomit on her mouth and her.
You know, it's so
not
funny.
just the experience; it's the everything around the experience. Because it's gonna be like a good 5 hours before you're clean and feeling not sweaty again.
Yeah. It's just so funny that like people are like, this is gross and whatever and all that stuff. But like, how many times have we seen like people getting drunk and having a hangover scene and that's not like gross? They also barf. They also smell like alcohol.
Yeah. Next scene, Annie is with Ted again. She spilled terrible about herself. So where does she go? Back to the horrible dick. Back to the dick and the not even good dick. The guy who is a dick and the guy who can't give good dick.
Right? He's terrible at sex.
Yes.
He is bad at sex.
They finished up. She suggested Ted that she go with her to Lillian's wedding. And he's like, I don't want to make her explain this bullshit situationship to other people. Wouldn't that suck for you? I don't want you to do that. I'm trying to look out for you.
I'm trying to be nice here.
Yes.
He's so terrible.
Right? And he's like, she's like, well, maybe bring someone else. And he is like, who else? It's always the assholes who will freely admit that they're not very into you that will always have the unmitigated gall to act jealous.
Yes.
Why do you care?
It's
and
so
of course,
funny.
the George Glass, the Brady Bunch reference for us middle-aged people.
Sure,
and he's
Jan.
very Jan-coded.
He doesn't get that joke.
He doesn't.
No, because he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He is a dummy. Like, that's the thing. He is, to be fair, Annie knows she's only using him for probably the dig ol' bick. Like, we all know that. Like, even she knows it. She knows she doesn't like him. She knows he's not even good at sex, but it's nice and there.
Of course, like he does, promptly kicks her out again and just turns over and goes to sleep. I miss you so much.
Oh my God, the way he did that.
Couldn't even finish the fucking sentence.
Remember though, before that though, he did the boob thing. He's like,
yes. Can he do this? He's like, probably.
He's just like grabbing her boob.
Right? Like, oh God.
Like,
and over the bra too. After that, she's at the liquor store. Probably some ridiculous time of the morning, you know, the time that you leave after you fuck some asshole. And she's got these off-brand vitamin waters in front of her, right? All suggesting different ways to be, different things to attain. Vitality, sex appeal. I don't know what the sex appeal in a bottle. I've never seen that before. How do you put sex appeal in a bottle?
I don't know. That's a weird
Lean,
one.
focus, calm. And I gotta say, there's nothing inherently wrong with what she's doing with Ted. Like, there's nothing wrong with a casual sexual relationship at all. The problem is that Ted is unkind to her, and it's not what she actually needs. It's not fulfilling her emotionally at all. Like, this selection of drinks is the universe like telling her, like, hey girl, what is it that you really want? You know what I mean?
Message.
Who's there doing his cop stuff? Officer Rhodes. Asks her, hey, what's up? And she's telling him what's going on. She says, do you want to talk about it? You've never seen Ted ask her anything about herself, except who else could he be involved with besides me? Ugh. So he's sitting on the car with her and points out she could be trying again with the bakery. He's trying to be encouraging on purpose. And here's another obvious thing. Literally would be having events where you need a bunch of baked goods, namely this upcoming bridal shower. Why can't you throw your friend a job? Do the Monica and Phoebe. When they were both out of work, they started a catering company. Monica did the cooking. Phoebe handled the business end of it. You know, throw your friend a budget for making cupcakes with a giant fucking cookie or whatever it's going to be. And you get your fruit baked goods. And Annie is able to be part of the event in a constructive way and get her financial and emotional needs met.
Yep.
She's a fucking blockhead.
Oh, you got the ugly carrot.
What?
There's one in every bag. You have to eat it. It's good luck.
I'm not eating this.
Yeah, I'll eat it.
It's a lucky carrot. No, don't eat it, don't eat it, don't eat it.
Well, don't litter. I'll fine you.
Sorry.
I think that the function of the carrot here is that, she pulls out the one funky looking carrot, Annie's the carrot. Later on, they have some fun doing basic cop stuff, whatever. They, play with the what the fuck is it that thing?
Speedometer.
The speedometer?
Yes.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's good enough.
And she spends hours with him because by that point that they're doing that, it's daylight already. She's been hanging out with him just for 3 or 4 hours at that point, just having fun, being around someone who's not asking for anything from her for once. So, a transitional scene. We see Annie emailing and calling a bridal party. Annie emails a suggestion that's intimate, could be fun, at the lake house, parents' lake house. Something she can manage financially, because here we get a shot of her check. It's pretty pathetic. It's pitiful.
Yeah, it's like $350. Even back then.
Yes, even back
that
then.
That was not a lot of
not
money.
Great. Yes, it probably didn't even pay for the plane ticket later on.
Oh, because she's already. No, she hasn't. Never mind. You're right. She hasn't lost her job at this point. She's
not
still
yet.
working.
She's still working, but it's for pennies, for not much. Helen is the kind of person who receive a typed missive and take it as an opportunity to respond with a call. She's going to hell.
It happens so fast too.
Right?
That is the funniest part.
Yeah.
Because we have in our pocket right now, like when we get an email, 20 seconds later, we get it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Helen was on her email, hey, just saw this, and the fact that she just got to everyone so fast.
Right?
Permit typing this speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
so
she was
on the phone with Helen, and while she's calling other people, she's already gotten around to Megan. By the time she talks to Megan, she's like, yeah, Vegas. And she's like, she got the jump on you, right? Like, yeah, she got to.
My favorite part though was Rita being like, I have a new tube top.
Yes.
I would like to take the tags off of.
Yes. I'd like to take advantage of this opportunity. And we see Rita talking to her while she's talking to her kids, like, shut the fuck up. Horrible.
Right. She's like, I'm sorry, I live with savages. Like, she's like,
where do you think they got it from?
Yeah. Rita is one of those people who hates her husband so fucking much.
Yeah.
Right. But if she was tasked with the opportunity of cheating on him. She's like, no.
Gotcha.
Why would I?
Right? Her way of interacting with him is hating him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's their relationship.
Like the hottest dude in the world could be like, hey, I want to sleep with you. And she's like,
I'm married.
No, I'm married. Why would I?
Like she would be like, I'm married, excuse you, ew. She just wants to flirt with the idea of it to know she still can. She doesn't want to go through with it. But she's so fucking funny in that scene. When Annie is trying to tell everybody what she wants to do, and everyone's just like, no. I'm like, damn, dude, that fucking sucks. They are always just like shitting on her and going with Helen. I'm like, I can see that'd be so demoralizing.
Oh, over and over again.
Yeah.
So, plane scene, home of several classic memes and gifs. We start with "I've Just Begun Having My Fun" by Brittany herself, accompanied by slow-mo shot of the ladies getting on the plane.
And Helen, again, in a fucking foil dress. Where is she going? Where is she going? I feel like, honestly, maybe she doesn't do that normally, but I definitely feel like she's rubbing Annie's face in it every chance she gets.
It's true.
So that has to be part of it. She's like, I'm flying first class and I'm wearing a great outfit. Look at you, you fucking plebe. And coach.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like that's what she's doing
One
a little
out of
bit.
their group who's in coach. Oh, God.
Yeah, because she refused to let her pay for it.
Right.
Because Lillian is just like, oh, I feel so bad for her. Like, I should be back there with her. Like, and then
This is your weekend.
This is your weekend. Annie's just too proud.
There it is.
She's
There
just
it
too
is.
proud, you know, that she didn't want me to pay for it. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. We get the cameo here from writer Annie Molo. It does not help that Annie, who has a fear of flying, is sitting next to someone who also has a fear of flying. It's going to go horribly. We get another cameo from Ben Falcone, who's Melissa McCarthy's husband, plays Air Marshal, who Megan immediately clocks as an Air Marshal, and she starts putting the moves on him right away. Of course, Annie's freaking out, and coach, she's like, Helen, who we've established is lonely. She's also an iron cunt because she offers to help Annie with a downer. Now, Annie Walker is not Karen Walker. She's not walking around with a bowl of uppers, downers, and candy corn and calling it a party. That's not her, and she knows this, and she wants to manipulate it. God, it's don't give drugs to someone who doesn't normally do drugs, especially in a closed environment like a fucking airplane.
Yeah,
bad idea. Becca and Rita are seated together, and they're continuing to bond over where they are in life. This whole two sides of the same coin thing. Turns out this husband of hers that she loves so much is not really putting it down in the bedroom. Becca starts to come out of her shell a little bit and asks for the flight attendant for a glass of alcohol, which is just and Rita cuts the flight attendant a look, and I love it. She says, bring us 2 double 7 and 7s, which is 2 ounces of whiskey, maybe 4 ounces of 7-Up. Rita is correct, listeners. It is sweet and will go down nice and smooth.
The way she says it, she's like, you'll like it. It's sweet.
Yeah, you like it. It's sweet.
She says it makes me laugh every single time.
Yes.
When they're talking about it, though, when she's like, I can't believe you've never been with anybody else. And she goes, just Kevin. Like, really tightly wound about it.
And she's like, I'm proud of it. I'm like, why would you be proud of it? It doesn't make you happy. It's not what you want. You need those slutty college years. Get it out of your system. Oh, man. At this point, Helen, who just cannot fucking help herself, leaves the comforting bosom of first class to check on Annie, decides to give her a glass of scotch, and to double down on the cunty, tells her that she does it all the time. It won't affect her as much because Helen is much smaller than Annie. Like, she's taking every opportunity she can find to kick her while she's down.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, she is. It's horrendous.
It's like she gives her a Xanax and alcohol.
She was setting her up for failure.
Oh, from jump. Oh, God. Rita tells Becca that she and her husband have sex all the time. He hasn't kissed her in years. So here's another one of the group that's like starved for real connection and intimacy, you know? So a little bit of time passes. Annie saunters. Saunter is the only word that describes the way she walks back into first class. And she is baited. So fucked up. And like, you look better. She's like, I am so relaxed. I am ready to party with the best of them. And I'm gonna go down to the river. She's fucked up. And
she's Broadway fucked up.
She's Broadway fucked up.
She's show tunes fucked up.
What are we gonna do? And she's like, oh, Helen is telling us about this place we're gonna go. And she's, oh, Helen knows the owner. Like dismissive jerk off motion. Like the intended function of the downer and the scotch was to relax Annie, and it relaxed her so much that all the truth is finally coming out. Helen definitely did it on purpose. I don't know if Rosebud is breaking at this point or if Helen, the character, wants to laugh. Either way, she's like, this is working. I did it. Spiraling down the tubes. The flight attendant comes back, kicks her ass back to coach, but she sneaks back in, incognito in glasses and a shitty accent. She's like, no, I'm with Mr. Iglesias.
I'm Mrs. Iglesias.
Yes. She's like,
no, it's you with glasses. Can you imagine being those flight attendants later? It'd be like, that bitch, that crazy drunk bitch. Like, just talking shit, like, the whole time, texting each other if they can.
Seriously.
Oh, no, they couldn't do it then. But
ma'am,
like,
you're gonna have to get back to your seat.
Right?
Yeah.
Her with her little red bangs.
Helen is such a bad person that she set her up for failure like this.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's on the no-fly list because of, like, I was telling Crystal, there's been this really weird push now in like online world that Regina George isn't the villain of Mean Girls. Now I've seen things with people are like, Helen wasn't really that bad. And you're like, stop doing that.
Yes. Like Lillian being the real villain doesn't make Helen not bad.
Yes.
She still did this on purpose. Helen offers her a receipt, and probably something she knows you can't do, but she wants to point out again, oh, she can't afford it. She shouldn't be able to miss out just because she can't do it. And we get the, help me, I'm poor.
That is literally a permanent part of my lexicon.
Yes. Permanent in there
like,
all the time.
Like when something happens, I'll just be like, well, help me, I'm poor. I sent that gift to so many people.
Oh, all the time. Megan is still putting the moves on Air Marshal John, shows him how high up she can get her leg to go. Basically asks him if he wants to fuck in the bathroom or get a hand job.
The way she's like,
ovaries on this woman, man.
Do you feel that? You feel that heat? It's coming from my undercarriage.
We get this wonderful Twilight Zone reference. There's someone in the wing. There's a big dinner telling us she's churning butter. She's a pilgrim. She's churning butter, and she's
a pioneer woman.
Got her fucking hands on the thing, and it's like going up. Like, just get this woman. Ultimately, she's running down the aisle. It is Megan who fucking
tackled her ass. Just like.
You may fall, but it should be accidental. No, you can. Right. Melissa's double, Heather Martin. It's her first time. She's a roller derby girl. Just make sure you get past here going full speed. That makes sense. Like, don't like hit her here and then start to slow down here because they'll be able to see that. Got it.
And action.
It's her first stunt. She did great.
Oh man. And same Britney song on the way out, except this time Penny's in cuffs. Spoiler alert, they do not make it to Vegas. They have to land in Wyoming, from where they have to take a bus to Chicago. There are a lot of fucking terrible ways to travel. A Greyhound bus is high on that list. That shit is uncomfortable.
That's actually really funny thing. Like, I guess one of the drafts of the script had them like scenes in Vegas. And then The Hangover came out, and they were like, well, fuck, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So that's why the scene is the way it is now. Yeah. It's because of the success of The Hangover.
Yeah. It does work a lot better because
absolutely.
It's a situation where Lillian's forced to sit next to Annie and have to face, what's going on poorly, but she's, firing her as her maid of honor, a job she shouldn't have had in the
Thank you.
Girl. Like,
you're a monster. You knew what was going on in her life.
Yes. You should have just made, if you wanted this kind of wedding, and you're obviously going to have that because you're marrying into all this money, just make your good friend a bridesmaid and have Helen do all the fucking frou maid of honor shit you have to do. She shouldn't have put that on her in the first place. And so she's letting all this horrible shit happen. And then she's like, you're not okay. You're not okay. And he's like, no, I'm fine. This is okay. She's still super trying to hold on to what she's viewing as, she's still super trying to hang on to Lillian because she can feel that she's losing her in general to Dougie and this new part of her life, but also to Helen.
If Lillian would have not done that, though, if she would have done, quote unquote, the right thing, right, which is to just make her a bridesmaid, I feel like Annie would have been upset about that, though.
That's true.
She, I mean, it would have been the right thing, but
Yeah.
she would have still been upset. She would have been like, "Well, why am I not good enough for this? Like,
Yeah,
why does it have to be her? Who's this bitch?" You know what I mean?
It's true.
We would have had a similar movie.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, it's true.
It just would have been more, and I think I'm glad they did it this way because it would have been more predictable with Annie basically trying to sabotage Helen at every turn and looking more psychotic every time.
Yes,
but the fact that
have connected to her.
Yeah, the fact that Annie is like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna try and do this, and Lillian is kind of like not expecting her, but I think she hoped that maybe this would, you know what I mean, like
bring her up or
bring her, you know what I mean, like something.
It's just dumb from every perspective.
It's dumb from every perspective. Yeah, it's more interesting this way to see her try and fail and Lillian realize, wow, I fucked up and I should not have let her do this.
Yes.
But Lillian still doesn't take anything on her. Lillian is like, you cannot handle this.
Yes. Yeah. She's still like this. You're messing this up and not taking responsibility for what she has messed up. With Rhodes at the bar, miracle of miracles, instead of I wonder now, because I always assumed that she went looking for Rhodes because that's what she ends up with. I'm thinking she was on her way to see Ted and found Rhodes on the way. But that's what she ends up with at the bar. And she needs someone to talk to, and he's still being encouraging. He's still saying, you gotta forget this. You gotta bake. When my sister was, doing a wedding, her hair fell out. This is terrible. And he's not only being encouraging, he's stating it. He's trying to make you feel better, and he says, I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Right? He's such a
and
good
no
guy.
one said that to her yet. Everyone is, some people are trying to make you feel better. They're doing it poorly, her mom and Lillian, but no one's saying, hey, I'm trying to help you here in the way that he did. Maybe that's why she sleeps with him.
Because he's
him and Megan are the biggest forces in her life.
They're her cheerleaders. They're the people who are like, he's a little nicer about it, and Megan's a little bit like, knock it the fuck off.
Yes.
You're in your own way. Stop feeling bad for yourself. Like, Megan's a good friend.
Yes.
And she says that because she's like, where's my friend Annie? Like, where is she? Where is she? Because this isn't her. Like, she's the friend that everybody needs who'll be like, I love you, and I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear, but you need to hear it because I love you.
So Annie sees Rhodes. They're infinitely, obviously into each other more than Annie and Ted are, because Rhodes didn't fucking send her home right away. When Annie wakes up, we can see that she took off her bra. We always see her with a bra on with Ted. She doesn't even try to open up to Ted in the way she has with Rhodes because she knows it's just not there.
Yeah, she doesn't even let Ted see her boobs.
Yes, right?
Rhodes got to see the boobies.
Yes.
Also, their sex scene was a lot cuter.
Right?
It couldn't wait.
Do you like biking? Do you like mountain biking? Oh, it's mountain bike.
It's mountain bike. Oh, it was very cute and like it should be. Not a pornography production.
Exactly. Much more intimate.
Yes.
She isn't quite ready to open up to him more because Rhodes continues being encouraging and gets her a bunch of baking stuff. He's like, I thought it would be fun to bake. Not only does he not kick her out in the way that Ted does, he invites her to stay and hang out and do something that would be good together. But she's not ready for it. Her face just shuts down. Yep. She accuses him of trying to fix her. She tells him hooking up with him was a mistake, which sucks. And he's like, why are you being like this? We had a good time. I'm just, trying to, bolster you up, trying to build you up. But she immediately just hurls all the darts she can find.
Yeah.
Tries to push him away.
So I've been editing the Twilight Breaking Kayfabe as we're recording this. And one thing you said that sticks with me was women shouldn't apologize for how they feel about a situation. So when Annie wakes up in the morning, the first thing she does is apologize for being
there.
For just being
there.
Sorry, I guess I fell asleep. I didn't mean to sleep over.
I'm silly.
For falling asleep.
Yeah.
And he's like, no big. And then he makes her a fucking cappuccino. He made her coffee. Like a cappuccino at that, by the way.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to go buy one. Like everything about that morning is him wanting her to stay.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't have to go get coffee. I want you to hang out. Let's make something together. Yeah. And with Ted, it's like, bye, see you later, sucker.
Yeah.
Get your ass out of my fucking house.
It's just such a complete difference. And Annie's still not ready for it. She's still not there.
Because she is a self-sabotager.
Yeah.
Like you said, she believes she's a failure, so she doesn't deserve nice things.
Yes. She's trying to call Lillian on the way home to tell her about how she, fucked this up with Cop, who's really nice to her, and she just, just took a shit all over him. She needs support here, but she doesn't know that she needs it, and she doesn't know how to ask for it. And of course, Lillian doesn't pick up the phone, because shit, would you? If you were her, would you pick up the phone? Maybe not. So Annie gets the invite from Helen to the French-themed shower that Helen completely fucking stole. It's a cute little thing, though, with the fucking butterfly.
The butterfly.
Yes.
She's like, what the fuck?
Yes, it
flies out,
but it's cute. It's pretty.
And it lands on her head.
Yeah, like
she's just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Voice over from Helen. Respondez s'il vous plaît.
Yay!
Respondez
s'il vous plaît. Yay!
Yeah. I could totally imagine Annie reading the invite in Helen's voice.
Oh, the Helen voice? Yeah. The Respondez s'il vous plaît. Yay!
Yes. Yeah. But this is where things start to really spiral for Annie. She's working at the jewelry store. Teenager comes in, asks for a gift for her friend. She wants to say best friends forever. Annie throws up on her right away. She got a new friend. Doing the same shit she did before. Like, no, you can't get married because, I didn't get married. It got fucked up. So here's why you shouldn't. She'll be better than you in every way. She'll be skinny and everything. And that will end. But kudos to the teenager because she doesn't take any of that shit lying down. They exchange some verbal jabs until teenager lands a knockout punch, says, you're an old single loser who's never gonna have any friends. And I just love the timing on that. She's like, old single loser who's never gonna have any friends. And teenager gets what she's probably been dying to say to Helen, what I've been saying about Helen this whole time, you're a little cunt. It turns out you can't yell at and insult customers at your place of work.
Especially teenagers.
Especially teenagers. That's the thing. Like, here's the thing. That girl does look like she's not a pleasant person, though.
Oh, yeah. She does.
But here's the thing. Mm-hmm. And again, given my background, I know this, very well. Teenagers are awful. But when you're the adult, you have to be the adult.
Yes.
You cannot say what is like right there. You want to just
forefront.
You have to go, that is not an adult. I'm the adult. Why am I going to argue with someone who's probably 13? My favorite one, though, the one that was actually more inappropriate than when she called her a little cunt like that, was when she goes, I'm sure you're very popular.
That scene in the DVD goes on for 10 minutes. Like
10 minutes?
They have a 10-minute cut of that scene.
Oh, probably
on the DVD.
Go with it and we'll just take what we can from it. That's probably what they did.
Yeah.
Like, just
and they just cut it. I mean, it's a Judd Apatow movie, so like that
lots of ad-libbing.
Yeah, it was probably a 3-hour first cut, and then they were just like, all right, let's just get this down to a respectable 2 hours.
Yeah.
But that scene was that was her bottom.
Yeah.
That was her
Spiral
bottom.
continues.
Right
Yep.
Like,
she's fired. Can't even break it to her mom, who helped her get that job because he told her right away.
Yep.
That was so embarrassing. I already told her. I'm like, you couldn't let her do that herself,
right?
I took it as this stressed me out so much. I need to call my sponsor.
Oh, your sponsor. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense. You're right.
Where it's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna drink.
Yeah.
Because I just had to fire your daughter.
Yeah.
I thought that's what that was. I didn't think it was.
No, that does make more sense. He doesn't seem like overly antagonistic to her.
Yeah, no.
He's just kind of like, I'm trying to help you. Please stop getting in your own way. Because we've all met a person like that who gets in their own way. And you're just like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Sparrow continues. Weird brother and sister kick her out and says, I think it's a little weird for her brother and sister to be living together with another person. It's weird. And they kick her out and says, you're moving out. And it's like, why is she moving? She has to eventually. And she leans forward to, pat her and says, oh, that's prickly. Because yes, when things are going poorly, Maybe you won't shave your legs for a while. That shit's gonna be prickly. That's something that I always remember.
I mean, that's just winter for me, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, what do I care?
Yes. Annie's gonna move back in with her mom, and she says, "You remember when you thought it was bottom? That wasn't bottom." But she says, "Guess what came in on the Netflix today?" Which is great. The Netflix.
Dated.
It came
right?
in. It came in the mail.
Yes.
Which, if you're listening and you're a younger person, yes. When Netflix first started, you got your shit in a DVD in the mail, and there were no Netflix shows.
Mm-hmm.
There were no shows. It was just movies.
Yeah.
That you had already seen. Most likely.
Yes.
Yeah, no. There were always
Renting
movies you had
them.
already seen.
We used to rent movies.
And you had to send it back in the mail.
Oof.
This
Good
is
times.
the second Breaking Kayfabe where we've talked about renting movies.
Because we're all of an age, and remember, you could physically go to a location, bring a movie home with you, and just turn on your TV, and there they all are.
Them coming in the mail was like a totally different.
Oh, that was a game changer,
right?
Because you didn't have to go anywhere. You're like, I just signed up for Netflix, and they're going to send me anywhere from 2 to 5 DVDs.
I miss it actually sometimes. Yeah.
If you don't watch a lot of movies, you may never learn certain valuable things, like what to do when an animal talks to you.
Hey kids, Jimmy needs your help down by the lake.
It talks. Kill it.
No, wait, Jimmy.
Let's
Jimmy,
make a hat out of it.
Hold on. Everybody take a deep breath.
Let's cook it and eat it.
But if you watched a lot of movies, you'd know.
Hey kids, Jimmy needs your help down by the lake.
Let's go help Jimmy. Thanks, Prairie Dog.
Netflix, all the DVDs you want, $20 a month, and no late fees.
What you saying? The Castaway came in the mail. It's a good movie. You're really gonna love it. By the way, Castaway is a great movie.
It is,
and you will love it. Spiral continues. She goes back to stare at a storefront. It says "Cock Baby" now. I always kind of liked that they managed to put in "Cake Baby" but made it "Cock Baby." It's Raining by Inara George is somehow sadder than Paperback playing all over all this. You just feel just worse and worse for Annie. Like it can't get any worse than this.
That scene in that song, that little section of that song is just burned into my brain.
Right.
That little like ba ba da da da.
Raining so hard. Looks like it's gonna rain all night. Like,
It's just like,
and she's
it's
standing there
just
looking at the thing. I was like, Annie, why are you going back there to stare at the scene of your misery? Like, Jesus. Like, at least stay
help
home. Like, she can't help it.
The self-flagellation.
Isn't it? It is.
She might as well be wearing a fucking hair shirt.
Yes.
Because this movie starts with a woman whose experience, who's like Grace had happened when Cake Baby opened up.
Mhm.
We're already a year past Cake Baby closing.
Yeah.
And like it's a fall from grace. And then it gets worse.
Right.
And the only good thing that really happens to her is
birds.
Like that's the only thing she gets. It's just a potential new boyfriend.
Yeah. So we arrive at the bridal party. She's pulling into Helen's. It's not just a fucking house. It's an estate. It looks like a fucking botanical garden. An estate. That's how fucking huge this place is. Man in a white tailcoat is there. She's like, "What the fuck is that?" Asks her where to go. Gives her refreshment right away. And it's pink lemonade. And she's like, "Can you? I don't have a fuck. I can't put this anywhere, so I have to drink it." She doesn't want to drink it. I know she doesn't want to drink it, but she has to drink it because she didn't have where to fucking put it in the car. And she's like, and this is another line that I use all the time. God damn it, that's good. Oh shit, that is fresh. Anytime I drink something that's good, especially with alcohol, ooh, shit, that is fresh. And yes.
She's so mad about it too.
Yes, right? She's furious. And yeah, the guests are led into the party on horseback. Like, not only do you have to drive in, get given this fucking delicious pink lemonade, you gotta drive to the stables. There's someone's gonna put you on a horse and then bring you to the fucking party. It's
riding side saddle.
so overdone. God damn it.
A wild Jillian Bell appears.
So Helen has not only taken the Paris-themed party that she put down initially, but went completely ham. The giant-ass sculpture of the Eiffel Tower, not little cookies that say Lily and Dougie, but one giant cookie, an enormous chocolate fountain. The party favors are puppies, literal actual animals with berets on their heads. I've never in my what?
Parisian puppies.
And by the way, they're all the same breed. It's like
They're yellow labs, I think.
Right? It's like 100 fucking. Where did you get 100 yellow labs from? What did she do? What a horrible woman this woman is. And Annie is immediately defensive, of course. She's like, "Hi, Lillian's there." She's like, "Oh, you're here." She's like, "Yeah, I'm here. I was invited." And of course, Annie's looking at this whole thing. She's like, "God damn."
You can just see it. You can see the
Right?
level of rage getting higher and
Exactly.
higher.
Like, not only did she take
The
my
rage
ideas-
meter.
The rage meter, yes.
Climbing.
Not only did she take my ideas that she said were horrible, she just inflated them completely. So we get to the gift scene, and what I really love about this opening of the gift scene is that everyone is wearing pastels. The whole thing is pastels. Annie's placed almost directly dead center of the shot in red. This is how much she's sticking out.
And
Like,
also,
I
that's
just feel
how
want to spot that. Like, she's in a different color and is like immediately in the center.
and that's
Like,
how angry
really
she
want
is.
her. Exactly.
She's literally
right?
the color of anger.
Yes. She can't afford to get her anything off of her registry, which I'm sure is full of fucking overpriced melon ballers or some stupid bullshit. So she's got to go homemade. She's got stuff from Lillian's favorite stores, Wilson Phillips CD, things that are meant to remind Lillian of her friendship with Annie. Like, here's all that I can give you in celebration of this. Please don't forget me. It's just so sad. So Helen tries to act like she didn't get a present because she's been so busy with the shower. But she actually got her tickets to Paris. Ah, Paris! Now, I looked it up. First class tickets to Paris cost about $10,000. So between airfare, hotels, this fitting of the dress they're gonna have, meals, Helen's ready to drop something in the neighborhood of 30 fucking grand just to stick it in Annie's face again.
Yeah.
Finally, camera zooms in on Annie. Face falls. She finally snaps.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Annie, she's like, "No, motherfucking Paris. Are you serious? I told you about this, Helen. I told you about this whole idea." And I was just like, every time I'm like, yes, give it to her. Give it to her. Let her know exactly what she's been fucking doing. Woman gives another woman a trip to Paris. Lesbians.
The way she said, that's literally the way I say it
every time.
To this day. Whenever there is a lesbian couple in a show and they just show up for the first time, I'm like, lesbians. That's literally how
it, right? And apparently Megan suspected the HLA. She's like, Becca's like, "Nope, I suspected." And Megan's like, "I did." She's like, "Come on, I told you about this whole idea." And Annie's telling Lillian, "This is not the you that I know. This is like, where did this come from? The you that I know think it's over the top, ridiculous. Everything is just awful." And she just really goes in.
Rightfully so.
The way she's been
rightfully
dying to. Oh, 100%. The way she's been dying to for months at this point. And she goes and, "Look at that fucking cookie. Do you really think this group of women is gonna eat that cookie?" She goes and stabs a giant cookie, which falls on her when she tries to pick it up. What a mess.
She does absolutely lose her
Yeah.
shit. And what I love the most about that scene is the stepdaughter who's just like,
"This is fucking awesome." Yes.
It's like, this is so fucking awesome.
She's right. It is.
It's the best thing that's probably happened this entire time. That involves her evil stepmother, you know?
Yes. It's awesome that Annie's finally losing it and telling Helen exactly what she needs to hear, but it's also awesome to watch someone lose it.
Like I said, if I were at an event and something like this happened and neither of you two were there, I would be like, you wouldn't believe this. I'd probably be taping it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you gotta see this to believe this.
The whole crowd is just watching it. I'm like, why is no one watching? It's so great. She stabs the Eiffel Tower thing, and I didn't think of it before, but the Eiffel Tower is probably a fucking baked good too. Just throws around everything on the tables, burns herself with the hot melted chocolate. So she tries to shove the thing over, but she can't.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know they're telling us it's a chocolate fountain, but the fact that it seems like it has plumbing makes me think it's just brown water. That's what made me laugh. I'm like, that's not really chocolate, but I'll let you guys tell me it's chocolate.
Like
It might be because I've seen a chocolate fountain that big at a wedding before.
Yeah, so when she's pulling it out, you can
Yeah.
tell like there's remnants of chocolate.
Yeah.
Like if it was just brown dyed water, it would look like Willy Wonka.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy that they did that.
Because it
That's
kind of
insane.
sticks to her and runs down in a way that's
Yeah.
like, it's too thick. But either way, fucking gross.
You like some champagne?
Yes.
It's French.
She's stolen all of Annie's ideas, Helen has. She's poured a ton of money into it. There are kiosks with Parisian references and posters and things. Miniature Eiffel Tower has been set up in the yard. There's an enormous chocolate fountain. I mean, it's a marble stone fountain that's about 7 feet tall with chocolate, pouring down out of it. The thing is so over the top.
And Annie finally stops Lillian from giving herself more second-degree burns. Finally confronts her, even though, come on. Why are you doing this? This is supposed to be about my time. Every event has been fucked up by you. Thank you very much. And Annie blames Helen for it. And Helen has got this stricken look on her face like, I didn't do that, but I spotted that. Megan nodded in agreement. Like, yeah, girl, you're the worst.
Helen is that girl that's looking at the camera while the house is burning in the background.
Yep.
Yes.
That meme. Yeah.
Exactly.
She's that was me.
To throw it and then hide her hands and be like, no, whatever. And she's like, you would know this if you got your head out of your asshole, out of her asshole, which I'm sure is perfectly bleached. And finally, Lillian also loses it too. You know what? It is. You know who I know? Because I went to the fucking salon with her and I got my asshole bleached too. And I love my new asshole. That's also something I use often.
Yes.
I love my new asshole.
Wait, hold on, Penny. How often do you use that?
It just comes out of nowhere a lot.
Yeah, me too. I just think it's funny.
Because here's the thing. I don't know why someone who isn't in sex work would want their asshole to look a certain way. How often is Lillian or Helen looking at their fucking own asshole?
It's because they think it needs to look that way, I guess. I don't know, but you're right. Unless you're in
So when I use it, it's for no particular reason.
Yeah, no, it just sounds funny. It's like, I love my new asshole.
Yes.
It's just funny.
Yes.
Because, she's saying it's a brand new asshole because it's bleached.
Exactly. Helen is the asshole, guys. She's like, I love my new asshole. I love my new friend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Why can't you just fake it to my face and talk behind my back later like a normal person? She has been doing that.
It hasn't said anything. Exactly. She's been trying her best.
Exactly.
She's been treading water, barely keeping her head above it.
Oh my God. She's been telling everybody except you. And maybe she should have at some point. But hey, here we are losing her shit.
Street,
Exactly. Yeah. And I get the feeling that Lillian knows at this point that she hasn't been a good friend to her because Helen tries to tell her, I'm proud of you. But she just tells her to shut up, Helen.
I will say though, Lillian looked incredible at the bridal shower.
She did.
Great.
Right?
That color and that dress. Oh my God, it looks so fucking good on her.
One of the things I've always thought is with the advent of computers, movie posters suck.
Yeah.
But if you look at the movie poster for this, it is one of the better movie posters ever.
Yeah.
Because it's just all of those women in those dresses.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool.
Yeah, it does. It still works today.
Like now they would just Photoshop some garbage together.
Yeah.
But like that, it's a really striking photo.
Yeah.
Like I have the DVD right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very striking photo.
It's iconic. Everyone knows what that is when they look at it. And then there's not really movie posters like that anymore.
Yeah, they're not. Usually a movie poster now is just like some small thing that you need context for. You know what I mean? Kind of like The Devil Wears Prada with the thing. It's kind of like that all the time. It's just one small thing that doesn't really fit anywhere.
Anybody else have anything they want to share today? I tricked 2 dogs already. They're in the back of my van.
The drive-away scene got Violet by Hole, angry moments, angry white women music. That is perfect. Megan has left with what looks like a fucking whole van of puppies because she's driving past.
She has a whole litter to herself.
Yes. She's like, distracted by Megan's horde of puppies, Annie has to brake quickly to avoid hitting a porcupine in the road. Porcupine, of all things. Brake lights have been out for ages at this point, So the driver behind her doesn't know that she's braking. They rear end her, completely fuck up their bumper and grill, by the way. But it's still working, it's still moving, so they take off. Annie's car has finally had enough, and it won't start. It's dead. She's stuck.
No, yeah, that's that moment where you just gotta let it all out.
Yeah, like that is rock bottom, baby. Like under, to the lava, all the way past the crust,
core.
all the way. So cars getting towed. Rhodes is there because when cars get towed, cops are there. Annie again tries to blame everything on Helen, but Rhodes puts her in her place. It tells her that this right here with the car happened because you didn't take the rope I gave you with the brake lights. I tried to help you with this particular thing, with my kindness, and you could have hurt someone with the car, and you did hurt me.
The way he said, he's like, you could hurt people, Annie. You can hurt people.
But these broken taillights.
With these broken taillights, not me.
But he's like,
I don't think he was talking about the taillight.
Nope, he wasn't talking about the taillight.
No, probably not.
And points out that she used him in the same way that Ted used her. Who turns up the only person she can call for help because Lillian, all the friends, the mom are back at the place that she fucking embarrassed herself. Ted,
when he
one
shows
asshole,
up,
is the only one that she can rely on at this point.
When he shows up, he's like, "What's up, fuck buddy?" I'm like, I could not believe that. I totally forgot. He calls her fuck buddy in front of Rhodes.
Yes.
In front of, not the fact that he doesn't know that they have a thing, but there's another person, a cop for one, and he's like, "What's up, fuck buddy?"
Yeah.
Well, no, Rhodes knows. He's like,
"No, but
are you serious?"
Ted doesn't know, but Ted doesn't know.
Yes.
Oh.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like a situation where he's trying to get at Rhodes. It's just he is that fucking stupid and shitty.
Yep.
And he's like, let me call the person who I think of as my fuck buddy a fuck buddy.
Yep.
In front of other people.
Yes.
Number 3.
Oh God, calls her number 3. Jesus fucking Christ.
Like, and I love that that's the beginning of her realizing that Ted's a piece of shit. It takes the whole, getting in the car with him.
Yeah. He tries to get her to give him roadhead.
Oh my God. You can take a lap nap.
Look what's driving the car. Like, God, you would think in this situation where she's asked for help because her car got towed, that's not the right time to ask for that kind of thing. You fucking idiot.
He cannot read a room to save his life.
At all. Finally gets rid of him. She's like, can you pull over, please? He's like, oh yeah, that's even better. He's like, I'd just rather just be by myself. I'd rather walk home on my bare feet than be here for a half an hour. He's like, I won't last a half an hour. So Annie is watching Castaway on her mom's couch, crying. Rhodes is Wilson, you guys. He's the one that's been there for her when she needed and asks nothing in return. So she's connecting to it like, oh, Wilson. But she's lost Rhodes in the same way, Tom Hanks lost Wilson. It's pretty sad, guys. It's just getting worse and worse. But then Megan shows up. Megan with the tough love.
With her 6 dogs. Her 9 dogs. 9 dogs.
I took 9. I told her she took 9, and that it's probably more comfortable with 6, but that she wouldn't know it because Megan's been trying to reach her, but Annie's pushed her away too, and she's literally got to beat the self-pity out of her. You stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. And I'm trying to get you to care. I'm trying to get you to care. And finally, she's like, no, stop. She bites her on the ass, literally bites her on the ass. She's like, why are you doing this to me? I'm trying to get you to care. I'm trying to get you to do something else. If I need to beat it out of you, I'm going to do it. And that's what she's doing.
She's doing intervention, man.
Exactly.
She's a one-woman intervention.
One-woman intervention.
So when that happens,
one-woman non-puppy intervention.
When she's biting her ass, you can tell, like, they make a conscious effort to not show Kristen Wiig's face, because I know she's fucking dying.
Yes.
So like the entire shot of like her biting her on the butt, you only see the back of Kristen Wiig's head.
Yes.
You never see her face because like if they would have cut to it,
yeah. So she finally hits her back. And Megan says, okay, got some spark in you. And this is where she's got to give her the talk. Because finally she's gotten Annie out of her funk and says, hey, I've been through some bullshit too. You think that this was easy for me? Like, she knows that she's a heavy-set woman with a blotchy face and that she's been treated like shit her whole life too. But she's brought herself through it. She, brought the bootstraps thing. I read all the books and now I work for the government. Watch Spy. Spy's a brilliant movie. I feel like that's connected to this.
I have clearance. Don't say that. Don't tell anyone you heard that.
I know where all the nukes are. I know what the codes are. A lot of fucking malls. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yes. And she tells her, I want to be friends with you, but I don't associate with people who blame everyone else for their own problems. Like, you're your own problem, dude. But you're also your solution. You can also bring yourself out of this if you try. Do you get that? And Annie finally, it's like, yeah, I get it. You know, I just miss her. I just am scared of the continuing change that's going on. You know what I mean? So we get a montage of Annie getting it together to Ryan Adams' Answering Bell. I really like this song. Maybe I should listen to more Ryan Adams. Turns out the fender that she got fixed didn't cost her anything. And if only she picked up that rope before, and she probably avoided doing it because she knew she couldn't afford it, right? But if she'd gone, she would have known. It would have been covered for her. But she never did it. And she probably, everything else. Hindsight's always 20/20, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Turns out Annie's mom knows Bill Cosby from AA. And she makes a fucking fire spinach dip. It's pretty cute. Like, hey, do you know my mom? None of us have to be alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Annie bakes Rhodes an apology carrot.
It's a cute cake.
Right? It is.
Yeah.
And it says, I'm sorry on it. Leaves it in front of his door. He doesn't touch it. She keeps going by. See, this is the thing with Annie. She's got some
sadomasochistic.
Yes. Sadomasochistic and obsessive behavior, because she leaves it but keeps going back to see if he picked it up. Keeps going back to see if he picked it up. Watch to see whether or not he didn't, but he's not ready. He's like, no. He doesn't touch it. Use it for the raccoons. He's still too hurt to do it.
Which, I mean, you know, she deserved that.
Yes.
You know, even though she made the cake,
yeah.
she deserved him to be like, nah, this is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, too little, too late.
Yes. Lillian's wedding day arrives. And who turns up but Helen herself at the door?
Immediately closes the door.
Immediately closes that shit. Like, and she's like, I know. You should be closing the door in my face.
It's like, so you knew the entire time.
Yes. Right? You knew the entire time. But she's, she needs help to find Lillian. Doesn't know where she is. And yet Annie will help, but she'll still slam the door in her face while she gets the keys. So Helen and Annie are in the car. And Helen finally apologizes for her cunty behavior. Admits she's been doing everything on purpose, because to drive a wedge between Lillian and Annie, Helen tells us she's lonely, that people only want her at their social events because she's good at organizing and spending, fuck tons of money on them. And, she cries, breaks down, and Annie has to laugh because it's the only time that she thinks she's seen Helen look ugly. The only time she's seen her be actually really vulnerable.
Yes.
And here's another way that this movie differs from some others. The cunt of the movie gets redemption. We understand why she's been behaving the way she has, not only because we're shown it, but because she states it. You know what I mean? Regina George was hit by a bus, and we never feel sorry for her.
Yeah.
But if Regina George is not the villain of that movie, as people have been positing, who is?
They say Katie's the villain.
How
of
is
the
she a
movie.
villain? She just learned some social shit she was never exposed to.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that shows.
If anything, it's
that
Janice.
discourse is dumb.
Yeah.
If anything, if they're gonna pause it, it's Janice, because she manipulates Katie and then gets mad when it blows up in her face.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Very true. Yeah, she says, I don't have any female friends. Like, she says what you clocked earlier. She doesn't know how to connect to others.
I think I said this on here, but I said this to you guys. But the last time I watched this movie, I was watching it with my aunt and my grandmother. Mm-hmm. And right before that part happened, because she was seeing the stuff Helen does. My grandma doesn't really watch that many movies. Like, she watches a movie and like, oh, that was nice. And so she's watching it and she's like, why would she do that? And my aunt immediately just was like, she's one of those women that doesn't know how to be friends with other women. Mm-hmm. And after that, I'm like,
oh, light bulb, ding,
ding.
Weird. I only have 56 episodes of Bones on here. Yesterday, I had 57.
Oh yeah, I deleted one so I could record something. I'm pretty sure you'd already seen the one I deleted. I didn't think you'd mind.
Honestly, Roger, I don't know why you keep recording Bones anyways. It's not as good as it used to be. I mean, I think we all agree that there was a drop-off sometime in the 4th season.
So Annie's going to Rhodes, obviously, when you got a missing person, find a cop, trying to get in and pay attention to her because he's not going to talk to her, which is fair. It's been too much. He's trying to get her to pay attention to her by doing all the things that annoy him the most. Doing donuts in front of him, beer in the car, littering, some very loud Dre and Ice Cube, being topless, which I'm pretty sure.
When they do the loud music, Helen's just like,
I'm too white for this.
She's like, this is not for me. I'm too rich and white for this.
No, I don't want to listen to New Jack's ECW theme. No.
No, but the boob thing made me laugh because I had that written down somewhere. Where was it?
Yeah, like
somewhere. Oh, where is it? Did I not?
That's the only moment that he looked up at all.
It's like boobs.
Yes. Finally, a light tap on the fender does the trick. Gets him to talk to her. He's like, "Are you crazy? All that shit you were just doing would be bad for a good driver." He's like,
for a good driver.
She's like, "I need help. Lillian's missing." He goes, "All right, how long?" He's like, "It's been like 12 hours. Have you ever seen CSI? 24 hours."
When they figure out where she's at, I laugh because I didn't clock this scene until watching it now. She leaves Helen in that car for like
a while, minutes. Right?
Yeah, that bitch is in the car. She better have those windows down or she's gonna die.
Exactly. Like,
leave the note. Don't worry, she has sparkling Evian and the air conditioner's on.
Probably.
Just listen to her favorite classical music. Don't worry about her. She's fine.
She's fine.
Right? Yeah. Now that I wonder, Lillian might not even have known that Helen was also there. Because they're having a moment. You know? Lillian's got cold feet. Helen, of course, took over everything and cost way too much.
Yeah,
and
no.
Helen's probably thinking about a bunch of shit that isn't necessary, like a bunch of shit with a fucking shower. But Lillian can't tell her no. You know, because that's your new best friend. You have so much in common. You know, and her dad can't afford it, and it just all went to hell. And she can admit to her, "I'm sorry for kicking you out of my wedding and doing this without you. Sucks. It's not awesome." And they apologize to each other finally. Lillian for being horrible, Annie for stealing the crazy, and I still don't think she has much to apologize for because she shouldn't have had it in the first place, man. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Lillian admits she's sad that their friendship will change. Annie says that she's fine, and first this time she means it. And finally, she can say, "It's okay. I can send you off this way. I'm still here to support you, but I'm gonna be fine." Even though Lillian knows you're not fine, you're not fine, you're not fine. If you knew that she wasn't fine, why weren't you being a better friend? But whatever.
Yeah.
A real piece of shit.
Yes. Turns out the fancy frou-frou dress makes Lillian look like an ostrich. But Annie can admit that Helen is good at what she's been doing, and the wedding will be beautiful and tasteful, and all those kind of good things, and they won't let her get married looking like a fucking bird prick. So finally, wedding is here. Lillian and Dougie finally fucking tie the goddamn knot. What's this thing at the Botanical Garden? Is that thing with the water there? How do they set that up? Because it looks like they're standing on water.
Yeah, so it's a big it's a big fountain thing, like a big water, fixture. And probably what they did is they just put plexiglass in there, because I've seen people do it in like music videos. It's like a big plexiglass like platform that you can walk on in the water. And it's just this big giant sculpture thing with water in it at the Arboretum.
Yeah.
And it's really pretty, so I get that's why they did that.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Yeah. It does look cool.
Yeah,
and
really
you got the fireworks. It looks pretty and beautiful. Helen has booked Wilson Phillips. And fucking Annie looks at her like, "God damn, bitch, I thought we were friends now." And she's like,
I'm trying to clock the day of when that happened. Like, what was the time frame when that happened? Because like you could see, because they like have allusions to that when Helen sees the Wilson Phillips CD, her face turns, which leads to the end.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to like, what was the time frame from that decision to getting Wilson Phillips? They don't
How
really
long
have.
is it usually between a bridal shower and a wedding?
Usually a few months.
A few months? I think that's long enough to get Wilson Phillips.
I think it's usually at least about like 2 months.
Sure.
Something like that.
Because
I'll
like
buy that.
I mean, with how Helen moves around the world, like it would be funnier if it was just like 2 weeks and then she was just like, well, I got Wilson Phillips.
Yes.
I mean, you saw how quick she answered that fucking email. So
hello.
She's on her toes all the time.
Right.
Always ready.
Like, really, bitch? And she's like,
always ready.
It's the last one. I
Days
promise.
ready, so
I was still on my bullshit when I did it.
Right, she's like, it's the last one, I promise.
Yes. And her dad's like, I am not paying for this shit. Yes. Annie can wave and settle in on to this next phase of her life in peace, while we hear Wilson Phillips singing their timeless bop about facing her own shit.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it when a theme comes together.
Right, when it all comes together. Annie and Helen are talking at the end of the wedding, and Helen's got to ask, man, what'd I do? It's the only thing I'm good at. Girl, please validate me. Annie tells Helen maybe one day the three of them can go, to Rockin' Sushi together, opening the door for an actual real friendship, which Helen seems genuinely excited about and open to. She almost cries a little bit. She kind of, whimpers. Helen's husband is also in the office. All those people, all the white people.
That's where I knew him from.
Exactly.
I was looking for him like, why do I know that guy?
Exactly, which is funny. He had no lines. He's just there in the background.
Well,
he's
all the men characters are just there.
Yes.
Yeah, no, there are no men that really. The only one that speaks is Rhodes and Ted.
Yep.
And they're supposed to be like opposite sides of the spectrum.
Rhodes, Ted, and her manager. That's
Yes.
literally the only three guys.
But as far as like wedding stuff is concerned, those men have no opinions and no voices.
Yep.
Like Dougie never talks. He says like one thing.
Right? Yes, exactly. For once,
the men
shut up. For once, they're serving the story about the main character. For once.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that Megan is watching Lily and Dougie go away. This is the meanest thing to do. What the hell? She put a loaded gun in Dougie's carry-on. What the fuck? She's like, TSA is gonna rip his ass apart. It's mean. Holy shit. What would happen? Come on, you get him arrested. Go to jail.
I guess she feels like her clearance is enough that she could call and be like, it's a joke. You guys can relax.
I think so. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
Get it?
God damn it. It's mean. It's I can understand that it's a pretty good joke in terms of you're gonna fuck up all his shit. But it seems like a lot. But it's completely on Megan. That's a Megan thing.
Yeah.
Rose is there. He turns up. He's finally come around. He had to fight off some of the raccoons to get her ugly apology carrot cake. Because it's ugly at that point after the fucking raccoons have gotten into it. And they kiss. It's finally a moment where he has accepted her apology and, turns up at the wedding. Wonderful, wonderful tying up of all the loose ends. And apparently he's still on duty, though, in fucking plain clothes. And jokes about arresting her for all the crap she did trying to get his attention the other day.
There's a warrant out for her arrest.
And it ends, and finally we're done. End credits to Wilson Phillips. And, they get the whole cute thing where they're singing along and everyone goes along. Ben Falcone's there. The puppies are there. It's a great, big, nice ending. You think that's going to be it. And it is. Until we get cut to Megan and Air Marshal John. Megan, I guess, is the kind of lady who tapes her sexual encounters. Oh, Jesus. Doing weird sex stuff with sandwiches. You know what? It looks like they're on a boat or something.
It does. It looks like they're on a boat. Yeah, like a houseboat or something.
Yeah. So if Megan's the kind of lady who just buys houses and 18-wheelers just fucking because, she probably also has boats on which to do weird sex stuff with Air
Maritime law.
Maritime law.
She knows what's up.
Boats and hoes.
International law.
Boats and hoes. And that's the movie, you guys. My emotional support movie. It's for a reason. Man, it's just super funny in a lot of different ways. And like I said, it doesn't go in the direction that you would normally expect a lot of these movies to go. You know what I mean?
It doesn't.
Yeah.
in a number of ways. Like I told you, the movie that would have been like the typical version would be Annie causing havoc, trying to fuck over Helen.
Right.
More
We've
interesting
seen
to
that
watch
version
somebody.
so many times. Yeah.
It's so much more funny to watch a person who doesn't need to punch down.
Yes.
And then get their comeuppance a little bit at the end.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's what it is. It's Helen knowing she can fucking outdo Annie at every turn.
Mm-hmm.
But what she's really afraid of is the actual genuine bond Annie and Lillian have.
Yeah.
That's what she's like, oh, this bitch has that on me. I have to throw everything I've got at her because I don't want to lose my only friend. It does seem a lot like this movie was one of those like lightning in a bottle moments.
Yes, exactly.
It's perfect and everything in it hits. There's nothing that doesn't feel like it belongs there. Semi-dramedies.
Yes.
They're not dramedies. They're not 100% comedies, but comedy with heart is always nice. And I always fall back on those to watch when I'm sad.
Yeah, exactly. But here on Home Wrestling League, when things finish, they just finish. They come to an abrupt end.